There are over 6 months left in the year, and yet the Game of the Year contenders is already really filling up, and it's going to be hard to dislodge any of them. Some of these games that are on this list feel truly special, and yet my personal Game of the Year has grown more and more clear by the day, setting itself apart from many of the games we're going to talk about today. We'll get to that at the end, but for now, let's talk about what could be very heavy competition. This Game of the Year award is probably going to lead to a whole lot of happy people and a whole lot of unhappy people, because the games that are on this list already have already made such a mark that they have a very passionate following. But I don't think anyone can really argue that any of these games aren't deserving. Okay, there's probably one on this list, actually, now that I think about it. If it wins, I think a significant portion of people are probably going to be pretty pissed off. Though maybe not quite as much as if, say, a DLC had won last year. The games on this list have already sold multiple millions of copies, and with GTA 6 moving to 2026, the award remains up for grabs. And so many of these, shockingly for this channel, are going to be RPGs, but not all of them. One of them is not an RPG, but I'm still desperate to play it, even though I'm really scared that it's going to end up making me feel, well, dumber than usual. But first, let's talk about one that I did play. Split Fiction almost needs a genre of its own. It's a co-op action RPG platformer, story-driven game that manages at times to channel SSX snowboarding, Mario, and body horror. Okay, I'm not going to spoil that last one for you about the body horror or just horror in general. If you have played the game, you probably know the level that I'm talking about, the horrifying level that almost turned me into a vegetarian, but you know, and if you haven't played it yet, you'll remember this moment when you watch this video when it happens, because holy shit. Made by Hazelight Studios and published by Electronic Arts, it is the follow-up to several successful co-op games of this nature, like It Takes Two, which took home its own Game of the Year award. It's got an astonishing 91 on Metacritic. There are moments in this game that follows the stories of two authors trapped in their own science fiction and fantasy creations that will leave you in awe at the ingenious level design, a touching story that made me tear up more than once, but perhaps most of all is what it brings to the game when you can play it with an awesome friend, like so. Oh, this is cool.
Look at us go.
Wait, what happens? Hang on.
Oh my gosh! Red, what the fuck? Thanks,
I got
man.
an achievement.
Thank you. Did you achievement? Just put it in. No, Red! Oh my god. Every time. Bro. The worst wide receiver and Red is the worst QB. Oh my god. That's hilarious. Bro, how we get to the end and Red just like trucks it? Oh my god. I cannot. Alright, go. Hurry. Oh shit. Oh, that was me. Go. Okay. The other way. Why are you going that way? Stop! Oh my god. Oh, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'm just saying, when it happens to Red, don't nobody come at me.
And perhaps one of the coolest things of all with this game, even though it has to be played co-op, you only need to purchase one copy and it can be played for free with a friend pass. It is just such a unique game that blends so many different styles of game and anchors it down with its whole idea of co-op play and this idea of a compelling story. This, until recently, was my pick for Game of the Year. But there was another.
The most adventure I was expecting was a fuck or two.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was not the other, but that doesn't mean that it's not an incredible game. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 carries on its shoulder the weight of a genre that's kind of, in some ways, fallen out of fashion since Skyrim splashed onto the screens. The wide open world reactive RPG where you kind of made your own game. But what Warhorse Studio has done is take that reactivity, packaged it neatly in 14th century Bohemia, and cares deeply about historical accuracy, and gone and made a script even longer than Baldur's Gate 3 with over 2.2 million words. I think in general, when you have that much going into the writing of a game, you include actors and mocap and those kind of capturing those emotional performances, you're always going to at least get a little bit of my vote for the game, because that kind of shows a caring for story. In KCD 2, you follow the story of Henry, the main protagonist of the first game as well. You can end up in prison for thievery, get dirty looks or deference shown to you based on the clothing you wear or how fucking dirty you are. And like another game on this list, combat in KCD 2 sets it apart as well, with a direction-based realistic combat system that takes time to learn and even longer to master, but is satisfying once you find a rhythm. I still haven't found the rhythm. I don't know if I will find the rhythm. For many, KCD 2 was an improvement from an already great title in the original KCD, improving on what they did well in the way I wish more sequels would. Until recently, I think for many, this was kind of the favorite for the game of the year, and it still has a very real chance at nabbing the top award with over 4 million copies sold and a decidedly mighty 88 on Metacritic. For realism, humor, drama, and incredible depth, this historical RPG is fantastic. Our next game, though, isn't an RPG.
An empty blueprint represents a world of possibilities.
I give and bequeath to my grandnephew all of my right, title, and interest in the house and land which I own near Mount Holly.
A world of dreams and doorways.
Blueprints is a game I found difficult to describe. It's one that has me intrigued with hopes that it might tickle some of the same feelings I had when I played Outer Wilds, a beautiful puzzle game, and my favorite of all time. Blueprints itself is a critical darling with the best Metacritic score so far at 92. It's a roguelike puzzle game where you enter a mansion in search of the rumored Room 46. It's a mysterious manor with shifting rooms that bring you along an evolving mystery with its intricate puzzles. It's also a game that I haven't played yet, again, because scared to, go find out how dumb I am. But luckily, there is another content creator that I know who was kind enough to give us a little bit of a talk about what Blueprints is, what it represents, and this is coming from someone who absolutely loves puzzle games. So without further ado, here's Quatos.
Blueprints is one of these games that exists in a generation where you can't stop thinking about it. So as you kind of delve into the house, you kind of have this idea of, well, hey, what's going on here? Okay, cool. I got this house from my uncle. Well, I want to go to the end. And then if you pay any amount of attention during the game, you start to unravel this crazy storyline as you go deeper in. You peel back another layer and you come back, and it's the perfect example of a game that has had so much information hidden in plain sight that you just never ever see. You're like, oh, this beautiful game. What's this game? Oh, well, that's kind of neat. I wonder what that is. And you write it down in your notes and you go back and you check and you're like, oh my God, I get it. Wait, that's what that was? And you slowly start to unravel mechanics. And then you're like, how do I solve this puzzle? And then you just eventually discover how to win everything and try to do everything. Or you don't. And I've still talked to people where it's I am further than them in the story or whatever. In the game, I've played more days and they have encountered rooms that I have never encountered. And so I'm like, what are you talking about? An example of this, I was hanging out with my buddy yesterday or on Monday, and he goes, yeah, that little gallery, not the gallery, it's the wrong word, but XYZ room. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And he shows me a picture of it. I was like, I have never once seen that room in my life. You know, it's like it's just one of those things, and you get a little bit of RNG, which is like the perfect combination to add to the flavor of the game, because like you could just miss something, but then you set like I'm sure the one frustrating thing that people might experience is if you have a goal in mind and then you're unable to complete that goal. So if you're like so used to being on like, this is what I'm doing, one track, like this is my path, I do this, then it might piss you off and it might not be the game for you. But if you just have an open mind, say, well, maybe I won't get that today, but maybe I'll learn something else. And you like look around for clues, and like you like have a journal, have a thing, right? Like I've got my puzzle journal here with all of my stuff that I use for everything for the game, and then as well as my copious amounts of notes in the game, and then I get to talk about it with people, and I'm like, it's just exciting. Like it is, I just am excited to play the game and talk about the game and find out what happens. So we took a break to play this game, Expedition 33, but I still keep thinking about blueprints and like what's in the place, what's in the next place I'm gonna find, what's in the next thing. And that's what Blueprints is. You know, that's what it is to me. It's just it's one of the best puzzle games I've ever played. Just because it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Everybody play it. Everybody play it. Casually. It's so clean. So clean. That's my statement.
Special thanks to Quatos for saving this video. I have included his link down to his Twitch channel below if you want to go check him out and see how he handles the puzzles in Blueprints, as well as some of his musical talents. And yes, he's much better at parrying in Expedition 33 than me too.
Watch out, my ally.
Parry this. Damn it!
Here we go.
So here's the thing, what if I didn't parry? Blueprint stands out on this list kind of like Split Fiction because of how it seems to bend genres around itself. Our next game, though, doesn't. And it's very much just an RPG. It's very well known what kind of RPG it is. It's been known for years, decades even, and it might be the most controversial one on this list.
I was born 87 years ago. But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams. This is the 27th of last seed, the year of Akatosh 433. These are the closing days of the Third Era and the final hours of my life.
The biggest shadow drop of the year was Oblivion Remastered, at least I guess so far. Mostly the same base game as the original 2006 Oblivion, but with completely new Unreal Engine graphics that really upped the beauty of the game. Oblivion itself was a masterpiece when it released, the second Elder Scrolls game I personally ever played, and one of the best narratively in the series in my opinion. And you might be sitting there saying, but wait, it's a remaster. How can it win Game of the Year? Well, because in 2024, in a move that largely seemed to pave the way for Elden Ring's DLC to be nominated, the Game Awards clarified that DLCs, remakes, and remasters are all eligible for Game of the Year, and all awards, basically. This solidly works in the Oblivion Remaster's favor, though I have to admit, the game being on this list is probably the biggest outlier. I think it winning RPG of the Year is potentially a bigger possibility than Game of the Year. Although obviously it has stiff competition. Despite its popularity hitting over 4 million players shortly after launch, I don't know that there'll be enough of this game to push it into the nominations. We still have half a year to go with more potential breakout titles and even other titles like Assassin's Creed or Monster Hunter Wilds, which could push for Oblivion's spot largely because of how little has changed from the original game. That's not to say anything negative of what Virtuos and Bethesda did with the remaster. It is a faithful remaster that people are absolutely loving. It's an absolute joy, and for many this will probably be the first time they get to play Oblivion. The Game Awards didn't exist when Oblivion released back in 2006. It did, however, take home the Golden Joystick Award for Ultimate Game of the Year, as well as PC Game of the Year and Xbox Game of the Year. The biggest question will be, can it hold off entirely new competition? I honestly hope No, because I don't really think that remakes, remasters, and DLC should be included in this category. Instead, should have their own category. That's part of why I made my own silly one, the Scuffed Game Awards. But that leaves only one more game to talk about. My pick for the Game of the Year.
Do you know what it means to disappear into nothingness? Their memories, their dreams, their love for each other. We exist for as long as she wants.
What can I possibly say about Expedition 33 except that this has supplanted Split Fiction to become my runaway Game of the Year? A brand new IP turn-based RPG in a dark, grief-stricken Belle Epoque-inspired fantasy world full of mystery, twists, turns, and so many tears. Like, holy fuck, this game tears your heart out. And on top of that, it's got the most engaging combat for a JRPG style game that I've ever played, with near Souls-like level parry and dodge mechanics, as well as an extravagant build system that can turn your party into gods, doing untold damage, taking multiple turns, halving the damage that they receive, and so much more. It's a gorgeous game with an ensemble cast of incredible talent like Jennifer English, Andy Serkis, Ben Starr, Charlie Cox, and more. It's a gorgeous game for a small team, and it's stunning that this is the first game to release from Sandfall Interactive. When I played Baldur's Gate 3, I knew shortly after I began the game that it was something special. By the end of it, it had surpassed all other RPGs to be my favorite game of all time. This game is quickly rising up those ranks as I'm now almost 30 hours into the game, and it's making its way into the top 5, if not the top 3 games I've ever played. The story is poignant. It's made me cry more than any other game I've played so far, but it's also got a great balance of humor with some incredible acting performances. I could go on at length about how wonderful this game is, how deeply touching this game is, but I'll just let this article title speak for itself. Not that article title, not that one, this one. Those are my current contenders for Game of the Year, but this is where I wish to hear from you directly. What is your Game of the Year? Please let us know down in the comment section below. What are your nominees? Which ones do you think that there's games left out on this? Are you a huge fan of Monster Hunter Wilds, for example? Let us know down in the comment section below what you think should be the Game of the Year so far, or maybe even games that haven't released yet that are still coming that you're really excited about. Special thanks again to Quatos for helping me out with this video, and thank you all so much for taking the time to watch. It really means a lot to me. Have a great day.